Joining me, David Winston, a Republican strategist and former director of planning for House Speaker Newt Gingrich. Well, let me, David, read you the quote again of Newt Gingrich. He said, it's like putting a Nazi sign next to a Holocaust museum. Those are very harsh words. Do you agree with that?
No, I mean, they are harsh words. And look, what Newt was trying to do, and he was talking about the Holocaust Museum here in Washington, D.C., what he was trying to sort of reflect here is, look, Ground Zero is a historic site for this country, right? And there are certain things that go along with that, and there are certain sensitivities that should exist. And he maybe took the metaphor a little too far, clearly, in terms of describing, but his point is basically well taken, and that is, this is a unique site, not just for New Yorkers, but for all Americans, and there needs to be a sensitivity in terms of what happens around it that is just unique to it. And so I think that's what he was trying to define there.
I love you. You took it a little too far with the Nazi reference. Okay.
Well, so, bear with me. And I think, and there's I think actually Chuck Todd said this earlier, as a matter of fact, and you've watched Dick Durbin do this, you've watched Rick Santorum do it, you've watched it. When you start doing Nazi analogies, you end up not necessarily making the point you thought you were making.
Right. But Dave, do you get why it's even more deeply offensive? Because you seem to be comparing the entire Muslim religion to Nazis. I mean,
no, but you see, I think what Newt was doing is he was referring to like how important a place this was, and a particular contrast there wasn't good. But I also think, look, there's another element here that I think is important, and I would agree with Congressman Adler that, look, legally they have the right to build there, but that isn't the issue. The issue here is the sensitivity in terms of, look, Muslims have a unique opportunity.
David, I'm going to stop you right there. What do you mean sensitivity? I mean, you've now said it 2 or 3 times.
No, because this is a unique...
Should all Muslims steer clear of Ground Zero? You know, Muslims also died on 9/11. They died in the building, they died in the planes. They were Americans, and they got killed. So what do you mean sensitive? Why are you comparing the Muslims to what Al-Qaeda did? How does that make any sense?
No, but what I'm saying is, look, first off, 70% of this country doesn't like this idea. There's a unique opportunity for Muslims to show, look, we understand Americans have difficulty with this, and we're willing to move somewhere else. There's just a sense of, like, look, if we're going to cooperate and get along and things are going to work, people have to understand the concerns that other folks have, and it's a two-way street.
You're saying 2 things from what I'm hearing. One is, if 70% of the country is ignorant, we should back that up. If they don't know the Constitution, or they think, Muslims are the same as Al-Qaeda, we should back that up.
Now, what I'm saying is that there's a real concern here about this particular issue. If there's a sensitivity, understanding what it symbolizes, right, rightly or wrongly in terms of how you want, but I think in this case correctly, what it symbolizes, there's an opportunity here for Muslims to say, look, we understand where the country's at. We understand we have the right to do this.
So they should know their place.
No, I think they should just show some sensitivity here. I think this is a real opportunity to really create some relationships here that would be positive. But instead, look, I mean, 70% disagree, so if you're going to insist on doing that, you're going to be sticking your finger in the eye of the American people.
I think
if that's what your goal is, then you're achieving it. The problem is
that you guys bait the American people like, oh, my God, the Muslims are coming, they're going to take over Ground Zero, etc. And, of course, usually the Democrats, with the obvious exception there of Congressman Nadler and some others, go, oh, okay, like Harry Reid did it. Okay, please, let's not support the mosque. And then that's why you get 70% of the country believing this ridiculous things. I mean, do you really think that this mosque is some sort of a statement by Muslims worldwide?
No, but bear with me. I mean, you just said you've got Harry Reid and Newt Gingrich agreeing on something. What does that say about political consensus in terms of where the country is at and what it believes at this point? And so that's why I'm saying, look, you need to have some sensitivity. This is a unique historic site on American soil, and you just need to show some sensitivity.
All right,
about
you asked me a question, so I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
I think what it says is that Newt Gingrich is a terrible, not in this case a race baiter, but a religion baiter, and that Harry Reid is scared, as usual. And so he backs away as usual. That's what I think it says.
I'm obviously going to debate you on that first point in terms of Newt is not like that. Having said that,
you just called all Muslims Nazis, and you can't even back that up.
No,
so,
I'm not saying
how is that not a religion baiter?
No, but that's not what he was doing. What he was doing was comparing like Pearl Harbor as a historic site to 9/11 as a historic site, Ground Zero. And that's what he was doing. You're making the contrast, well, that he's comparing it to Japanese or Nazis. He's comparing it as a historical site and the sensitivities that go along with that. That was his point.
Right. Except he mentioned Nazis a couple of times. But I guess he was unclear about that. All right, listen, David, it was a good conversation. I want to thank you for joining us.
Okay, pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now